Hi everyone, welcome to SPED Homeschool Conversations. We are back for another week and another exciting interview, and tonight we are talking with Natalie Mack. Welcome, Natalie.
Yes, hi Peggy. Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. Thank you for being here. I am so excited. So, this month we're kicking off April with a bang, and April in general is going to be a very exciting topic, especially. We did not know that this pandemic was coming, but our theme this month is homeschool mom burnout, and you might experience a lot of burnout this month, and we want to be here to encourage you. And so our topic tonight is Natalie and I talked. We met a long time ago,
Right.
and I told her, I said, you have a gift for telling women just how beautiful they are. And
Oh,
so I'm excited to have you here to talk about this because I think a lot of times we struggle with
yeah,
our own beauty and what is beautiful. And so
right.
that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Exactly. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. And I want to thank Bookshark for sponsoring this episode. We just thank you for your partnership with us and for advertising through us and supporting this broadcast. So we'll hear more from them about halfway through this conversation. But as we're getting started, Natalie, I would just like our audience to get to know a little bit more about you and yeah, what you do and how you help women feel beautiful.
Okay. All right. I am a Navy chaplain's spouse. So, and I am a big proponent and big fan of our military spouses. I
Mm.
try to shout out how awesome and fabulous we are all the time because, in many cases, we don't get the appreciation that I think we um, overall deserve. And a lot of times, I don't think we even pat ourselves on the back,
Yeah.
um, necessarily
Mm-hmm.
either. I'm going to I hope it doesn't affect, cut my speaker down.
No, you're doing good.
1 second, let me see. So I was trying to stop things from popping in, notifications, but I don't know if I cut that down and you can't hear you. So in any case, but yeah, so I'm a Navy chaplain spouse and a homeschooling mom. We have 5 children. And
Yeah.
I told someone, I was talking to Candace Duggar with Bully, Broken, and Redeemed. And
Mm-hmm.
I was saying, don't do the math because my youngest is 12, or our youngest is 12, and then the oldest is 28. And
Oh.
so you do the math, you're like, wow, what in the world? But yes, God has, you know, has a sense of humor, and not that my youngest child, that there was something like necessarily to laugh at, other than I just know I thank God for him blessing us with the gifts that
Mm.
he blesses us with in his own
Yes.
timing.
Uh-huh.
um and I'm just thankful for that, and he was with me through that late pregnancy,
Mm.
and even the doctors were like, this is the best, you're the best, like almost, I tell everyone, almost 42-year-old going through this, like, as so I was like, oh, thank you
Oh.
God, thank you God. So
Mm.
and so we have our youngest are boys, 12, 18, and 23.
Mm.
And the 18 is headed to George Mason University in the fall, so he's excited.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. My 23-year-old son is working on a congressional campaign in Anchorage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he moved right before all of the current
Started.
crisis.
Wow.
And he's working on a congressional campaign there. And so that's the 3 boys. And then we have 2 girls, one who's 25 and one who's 28. And the 25-year-old is working on her master's of social work at Howard University.
Huh.
And she graduated from Liberty University. She played on the
Mm.
Liberty Flames soccer team. She
Mm.
was one of the starter players for 4 years. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that. She just loves soccer. She's an incredibly gifted soccer player, and that's a whole nother testimony and things there. But and then our 28-year-old, shout out to her. She is a DC public school teacher. Well, actually, she is now an IB coordinator, international baccalaureate coordinator at a local DC public school. And she has led in the past 3 or 4 trips. She's led DC public school students to China. Last year was Beijing, and 2 other trips prior to that. So she's fluent in Mandarin. And yeah, so I'm so proud of them. So yeah, and I also, about 2.5 years ago, God led us to make the decision to bring our my mom-in-law, into our home.
Yes,
so
right.
we're living in the sandwich generation, and so he's kind of opened my heart up to that and to get that message out about how that looks, especially homeschooling and living in the sandwich generation, and particularly when you have someone that you brought into your home. I thank God, though, for how he's molding and shaping me and the kids through this.
Yeah, that
this
whole new dynamic.
Yeah, it's a new dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
A year ago, well, about 14 months ago, I became a business owner. And so I am an independent consultant for paparazzi accessories, and I sell nickel and lead free $5 bling. And so,
and there's your Facebook page.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and I'm wearing some of Natalie's jewelry as well. Excited about some the last time I saw her.
So we have. I've been having the time of my life, and God has blessed me in that, because I didn't see myself being a business owner, and it has been such an incredible opportunity, and I've been having so much fun on top of that. So out of that,
that's great.
Out of that, I began to kind of notice some particular things about women and beauty, and that's where I think led to the conversation that we had at the Q1 conference, right?
Definitely, yes. And it's just that so many women don't see themselves as beautiful.
No.
And you know, and I think you do a really good job of helping women see that it's not just about what you put on, and you know how we present ourselves it's a much more bigger package than our beauty industry wants to talk about.
Yes.
Definitely.
Very big. Yes.
Yeah, and we want you to be part of this conversation. If you're watching, you have questions, you have comments, definitely put them in the feed. We will bring them into this conversation. We do turn this into a podcast, so you'll kind of be part of this as we go along too. And the full-length video does stay on Facebook as well as YouTube, depending on where you're watching us from, as well as Periscope. So, anyways, but we want you to bring your questions. We want to bring your comments to definitely add to what we have to talk about. So, so as we get started, Natalie, you know, I think a lot of women would say, me beautiful? Not really. Or, you know, I've got that one thing that, you know, makes me not beautiful. I remember that. It's my big nose. And I used to struggle with that so much. You know, what encouragement do you have for women that, you know, that are kind of at that place where going, yes, this person's beautiful, that person's beautiful, but not me. I'm not included in that category.
Yeah, you know, for me, the biggest encouragement has to come from our relationship with Christ and with the Scripture. As humans, you know, we struggle in so many ways in our humanness. We struggle, and it's really difficult to wrap our minds around how God sees us as beautiful when, as a human, what we see looks like a flaw.
Right.
it looks like a
Yeah.
negative. It looks like something we want to just get rid of or change.
Mhm.
And I think that the biggest way is to just truly believe. And I was thinking about the Psalm 139, verse 14, which all of us or many of us may have heard, or but it's
Right.
that we are wonderfully and beautifully made, right? Marvelous
Mhm.
are thy works. And so it
Yeah.
goes back to the belief that who God is in our life
Mhm.
and what we believe about him. And therefore, what do we believe about his word?
Mm. That's a
And
good.
how
Yeah.
relevant is that to us?
Mhm.
Because we can't pick and choose what we
Right.
believe. We have
Uh-huh.
to. Now, I know that's easier said than done, because there are real challenges that even though you read the word, you hear the word, you believe, at the same time, we're human and we're looking at it and going, okay, well, God, did you really mean, is this really,
Right.
really
Exactly.
hard to, my ears a little bit big, or, whatever it could be, right?
Yeah.
My arms a
Mhm.
little, I've heard, you hear the gamut. My arms a little bit big. I got, flat, everything, right? Like,
I
God, did
know.
you
And
really?
we all know it. We all can point out that one thing that bothers us the most.
Right. Yes. And it's glaring. It just feels like it's just there,
Yeah.
right? Like, okay,
Mhm.
God, you can't have meant this is beautiful, like, and
Yeah.
this can't be marvelous. Is this a work? Is
Mm.
this like, but I think we have to just believe and trust in
Mhm.
that word. Um, we're not going to
So
get
good.
some incredible revelation or, incredible way to look at it other than just going back to the scriptures and truly spending time in the word, spending time with God, and just hearing from him and
Mhm.
making a choice, because we have
Yeah.
free will, making a choice to believe what he says.
Right. Yeah, I remember when I was dealing with depression, I had scriptures that
Mhm.
I knew were true.
Yeah,
And I would paste them up around my house and I would read them till I believed them.
right,
Because it's like, I can't convince myself, but eventually my heart softened as I kept saying the
yeah,
words.
right,
And that's almost what we need to do just with that one scripture verse. You're
right,
wonderfully and beautifully made.
right,
Can you say it till you believe it?
right. Good point. Yep. Can you say it until you believe it? And if you have to post it up around the house,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to God in prayer and saying, because there are no
Yeah.
surprises to him. So he already
Mm.
knows how you think about whatever it is you're thinking. So
So true.
to try to deny or think, oh, I'm hiding this from God,
Mm.
that's not the case. So he's just
Yeah.
waiting. He's waiting for us to come to him and to lay
Mm.
it down and say, this is
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
difficult for me. I am struggling right now with this. And
Yeah.
I need your peace.
Mm-hmm.
I need to hear your word. I need to just feel that your word applies to me too.
Mm-hmm. My son once said, wrestling with scripture. He said, and I thought that was fun. This was kind of funny the way he said it. He goes, you wrestle against God, you realize he's always going to win.
Yeah, right.
And if you're going to leave just a little, different, but he's always going to win. But he said, well, even when you wrestle like a real wrestler, you wrestle against people you know that are going to beat you because you know you'll learn through the process.
That's true.
And I
Yeah,
think I took that away going,
yeah.
yes, I have
That's
to
deep.
wrestle with God over these truths, not
Yeah,
because I'm going to win. I'm going to
right,
tell him I'm right,
right.
but because I need him to change me through that wrestling so that it becomes part of me and something
Exactly.
I learn from.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
something to be learned in that whole process. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about a quick fix here, although it could be, because we don't know. Time is,
Exactly.
we don't
Mm-hmm.
understand time the way God understands time. And there are quick fixes. There are people who, for example, have addictions and say, God, please take this. And he takes it.
Right.
But
Exactly.
we don't know. But definitely there's a lot to be learned in that process of
Mm-hmm.
daily going before God and saying, here I am again. Here I am. Right, right. Here I am.
Exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
and you know what I need. And yeah, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah. So, you know, that's a really good thing to, even to put that on your mirror. Because I know a lot of women right now are really struggling. I can't see my hairdresser,
Yeah.
so my gray is starting to show. My eyebrows are getting a little bit more
Right.
fuzzy than they
Yes.
normally are, and I can only tweeze as much as I can.
Right.
And so there's all these things that we're noticing and we can't, fix. And
Right.
so I think it becomes even more real as we're going through this time where we just kind of have to deal with it.
Yeah.
What we can't cover up.
And isn't that true just with about everything now in life that I mean, we just
Yeah.
have to deal with where we are in all these different
Mm-hmm.
phases of our life, and you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
and we're all seeking that peace. That okay, I need peace. I need peace in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, peace
Yeah.
from the voices that tell me differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just need
Yeah.
peace. And I really think that this is a particularly spiritual battle right now, also,
Mm-hmm.
that
I
um,
agree.
it's an
Yeah.
opportune time for Satan to speak louder whatever we were
Yeah.
already being told, whatever lies we
Mm-hmm.
were being told. It's an opportunity for him, to be louder with it, and for us
Mm.
to be in that struggle. And so I think people need to
Yeah.
be prepared that and to recognize that if you're struggling even more, it's
Mm.
not something that should be unexpected. It should be, okay, I need to be
Yeah.
in prayer more because
Mm-hmm.
this is a hard, challenging time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, this is just my rest time.
Exactly. No, it's
We're gonna get some extra naps, watch some extra shows. But yes, all the things that you avoided because you were able to keep busy.
not
I'm
right.
finding that a lot of people that I have seen that have been extremely busy are
Yes.
now having to deal with a lot of stuff that
That
they've been avoiding dealing with.
exactly.
And that's hard because it stares you in the face. It's there when you wake up in the morning. It's in your house. It's
Right.
probably the people you live
Yeah.
with.
That
So,
too. That too for a lot of people. Yeah. That
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it's our
Mhm.
internal struggles, like you're talking about, and a lot of
Yes.
it has to do with our own image, our own
Right.
self-image, and what we think about ourselves.
Right.
And yeah, that is a
Exactly.
very difficult. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking too, Peggy, you know, uh, about why women struggle. Why do we
Mm,
struggle so
why?
much with our own beauty? And I was thinking, and I made
Yeah.
some notes, and one real thing is family history.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm an inactive licensed therapist. I haven't practiced since we started homeschooling, so it's been
Mm.
quite a while because we are almost almost 20 years into
Wow.
homeschooling. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
so I'm not, so I'm totally inactive, but I still think, that way. I'm a big person thinking about family
Mm-hmm.
history and motivation and all kinds of stuff. And
Yeah.
so family history is a real challenge for a lot of people. What messages were you told in your,
Right.
family of origin?
Mm-hmm.
What messages did someone tell you? What messages did you hear being told to
Mm.
other people? What
Yeah.
messages did you hear mom say about herself? And what
Mm-hmm.
messages did you hear dad or whatever significant male figure? What messages
Yeah.
did that person say?
Never even thought about all
And
that.
then what
Yeah.
messages did you not get that that person inside of you still hungers
It's
for?
hungering for. Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
all of that shapes a lot of that's who we are
Mm-hmm.
to this day. Even though we have now become adults,
Right.
we
Mm-hmm.
still we're still carrying that.
And those memories, those things from our past are so much, they hinge what we base so much on, and we don't even think about them. And then
Yeah.
the memory itself may be completely almost gone,
Right.
but what it has grown into our thought process is still
Yeah.
there. That's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Can we pop in a comment from or
Sure.
question from a viewer?
Yeah.
Melanie asks, any tips on helping teenage girls who are bombarded already with false images of beauty and peer pressure and what to be or look like in a certain way?
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is a
That's
very
your,
good question.
that's actually a, Melanie is a dear, college, friend. We attended Spelman College in Atlanta together, and so yeah,
awesome.
so I'm happy to see that she is on, and I know she has a young daughter, and I know that this is a general, a huge problem, a general across the board problem.
Definitely.
With the teenage girls, who are, like she said, bombarded with false images of beauty and peer pressure, and it's even, like, I remember, being a teenager, and there were, the teen magazines that you got, and they talked about, the latest cover girl, and all the different things, and so even more so today with social media. And I'm a proponent of social media. I'm not one that it's all doomsday. I use social media. I do, but I think all things in balance. And so, but with social media, the images and the peer pressure and the false images of beauty, like Melanie mentioned, are real. They're even more real now than when we would just happen to be at the grocery store and we would see the magazines,
Right. Because it's people that you think, don't have all that, ways to improve themselves, or, they're just, this is their everyday, that's what it comes off like.
Exactly.
Versus the lady that I was sitting behind on my I was thinking about this before we started, is my husband and I went to Curacao for our 25th wedding anniversary, and our flight got delayed, so we were on the tarmac for over 2 hours, and the lady sitting in front of me spent the entire 2 hours touching up her photos and putting them onto Instagram. And I thought, you can't even look like yourself.
Yeah.
You have to touch everything up before you can put it in front of other people. And those are the images that they put off as, this is my normal, everyday, glamorous life.
Exactly. Right.
And at the same time, her and her significant other were sitting on different sides of the plane because they couldn't stand being with each other.
Exactly. Right.
It's like,
right. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's
that's okay.
Okay. All right then.
I'll just ignore it.
But yeah, any tips on helping teenage girls? One of the big things is definitely be the person that the teenage daughter can come to and talk to. Be that person that you can be, the affirming voice in that young girl's life. Okay. And if you can't be, because you are still working through your own particular issues, then find some trusted female who can be that voice.
Right. Yes.
Definitely.
It's amazing just
a
how a mentor can work in a girl's life. Because my babysitter would come to me, and it was funny because her mom, she was homeschooled too, and her mom goes, "You tell her the same things I tell her, and she believes you."
Why does that work that way? Who knows, right?
Definitely.
But definitely, yeah. So, and then also just try as much as possible to surround that young person with as much positive affirmations as possible. Whether it's it's books about young women who did incredible things, and not so incredible that it's so far reaching. I'm just saying, just kind of try to redirect it into other avenues as much as possible. And the friend group, it's really hard. I understand, as homeschoolers, we kind of have a little bit more, and basically all parents are homeschooling now. We're doing school at home.
Right, exactly.
There's that debate between, are you homeschooling or are you doing school at home? So, but still, we're all the kids are home, and these issues are probably more front and center now for families because the kids are around them
Right.
more than
Mm-hmm.
prior to us homeschooling. By the time I got my two girls back then were in a Montessori school. By the time I
Mm.
got home from, I left work and picked them up, and we got home and dinner and schoolwork, even though they were like second grade and kindergarten, then there was minimal time to
Yeah.
be that mentor, to be that voice, because
Mm-hmm.
literally you had this much of their day, you know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but now
Mm-hmm.
people have a whole lot of, they have all their day, right? So,
Right.
this is the time to try to work on self and
Mm-hmm.
try to be that voice for the
I
child.
love
And
that.
yeah,
Yes.
so hopefully
Being
those
purposeful
ways.
about that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a constant work though, because
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
media and peer pressure is a constant thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Candace too. Hi,
Hi,
Candace.
Candace. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be an
You're
easy
right.
route, but
You
it's what we
have
have to do.
to, and what do they say? You have to hear a positive, so many more positives than
Right.
negatives, just
Yes.
to counter that. And
Yes.
so to constantly, but not be fakey about it, but just really at least spend the time to think about what can I compliment my daughter on that
Right.
is true, that's real, that is going to ground her in her own self image about how
Right. And it's
God made her unique.
you know the and it's the small things. Like I was talking to someone months ago, and I was talking about the fact that so many moms, and this is not to beat up on moms because I love us so much. Our heart is, we love our family so much and our kids
Mm,
so much. But a lot of times I hear moms say things about themselves and their own body image, and
mm,
they don't realize that they are the model for their daughters.
right.
I also hear a lot of moms will make comments to their daughter
Mm,
that are not going to give them that positive, that good sound self-esteem.
right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
there are ways to correct some things, that if there are some valid things that you feel need to be corrected. For example, if you have a daughter that has an obesity problem, there are ways to correct that. Now, if you have an obesity problem as the mom, then there's things that, and there's different medical reasons people do. So I'm not going to get
Right,
into that. I'm
exactly.
just saying
Yeah.
in general,
Mm-hmm.
we have to think about who we are and what
Mm-hmm.
messages we're telling ourselves, and what are we saying.
You speak truth into its own being,
Yes.
and we forget that sometimes. And it's the what's going on in our head. I know when I was dealing with depression too, and
Yeah.
it's so similar. Is
Yeah.
that you're cycling these lies, and you have no idea you're even telling yourself
I
these
know,
things.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the enemy. That's
Yes.
the enemy that figures, there's these open windows that,
Mm-hmm.
the enemy comes in and seeks to kill and destroy. And
Yes.
it's not
Mm-hmm.
this, they're small, it's not this huge, like, oh my gosh, I see this huge open window. It's these little cracks. It's these little cracks
Right.
that we have
Yeah. Yep.
that
Mm-hmm.
the enemy seeps in to say, okay, and you don't realize it, like you said, you don't realize that you're
You
even thinking
don't.
these things,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even hear yourself saying them out
No.
loud too.
Mm-mm.
You
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
You
I,
really
I
don't.
used to tell people when you catch yourself, write down what lie you just said
Yeah,
because I promise you, you're saying it more than just then. And then
it's
I want you to go to your concordance, find a scripture that opposes it, tells you
right.
what the truth is, write that down, stick it on your wall. That
Exactly.
is what you need to read.
Right.
That is
Right.
exactly the lie you need to conquer.
Right.
And
And it's not just negative words that we speak that are about beauty. It's
mm-hmm.
negative words, period, about life. And
Right.
because it's really hard to separate that you are speaking negatively about situations and life and circumstances,
Yeah, they
and
all
then
muddle together.
positive over here. It's all in the air around you, and it's all mixing together. So it's about this being as positive as you can, working on your own issues, being very transparent, and being willing to see that your issues are impacting your daughters, your family. And I mean, we're not even talking about young men, because there's unique stuff happening there too, right? But it's so this whole idea about the inner beauty in you is the spirit of God and the positiveness, and and build your relationship with Christ. And it keeps it's not so simple, but it is simple in some ways and not so.
Right. Yeah. Because we're constantly opposing it because of our nature.
Right.
Definitely. Well, we're going to hear from our sponsor.
Okay.
We're about halfway through our show, so I'm going to let Natalie take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to keep on her list of that she had just started before we kind of took that tangent. So
okay.
I'll see you in just a moment, Natalie.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us, and we want to thank Bookshark for sponsoring this episode. They have been an awesome partner for us at SPED Homeschool, and they've sponsored a lot of our episodes. But Bookshark is a literature-rich 4-day faith-neutral curriculum. You can find more information at bookshark.com. But Kim McNary, a busy homeschool mom, says, my daughter's on the spectrum as well as has OCD and has instantly taken to this curriculum. It's incredibly structured, which makes us both ecstatic. The books are great and the kids are awesome too. And she said even with running around and doing therapy and all of that, she can fit everything in because it's 4 days, so she has that extra day, and it makes them happy as a lark. Well, Kim is right. Bookshark is fully planned out. It's a 4-day homeschool curriculum that flexes to match your busy lifestyle. The detailed instructor's guide is everything laid out for you. It's easy to teach in mere minutes. Just open your guide, gather the resources, which are also given to you, and you just go. They have curriculums for ages 4 through 16. You can either buy just the single packets for different subjects or a whole package to cover everything you need. So definitely check out their website at bookshark.com, and you can get some free samples to try it out or request a catalog. And your kids will read between 35 to 50 engaging books a year, so that's awesome, or have read to them, because they do have that option as well. So anyways, thank you, Bookshark, and we are going to have Natalie back on, and we're going to continue this conversation that we've been having about bringing out the beauty within you. And boy, we hit some good things at the very beginning, and we had a comment from one of our viewers just as we were finishing up. She said, so true, my daughter's in gymnastics, which is not always a forgiving sport. Oh yes, if you have body image issues. I've tried to show her that great athleticism of girls is all shapes and sizes. So true. I have huge arm muscles because I do aerial silks, and I really sometimes can't even put certain shirts on because my daughter does the same as I do, and she's like, Mom, my shoulders are just so big, I don't want to wear that. So
that is difficult. Gymnastics, my youngest daughter was soccer.
Yes,
and, the body image, the very thing that helps you be really strong in a sport, particularly for females, can be a difficult and challenging aspect. It really is. People would joke and say, oh, you can tell the soccer girls, even when they are dressed up, you can, and a lot of times the dresses, are above the knee, and you can tell, the thighs and the quads and all, and you're like, oh, but you want to, I'm not speaking, just, read the word and trust in God and things are just magically going to be okay. This is a constant work that we have to be doing. It's a constant affirmation. And some days you might not win that particular struggle with your thoughts about it. So it's like over time, and when the average, if you, on an average, you're doing mostly better, with conquering your thoughts about it, then that's what we're aiming for.
Yeah. I found when I was struggling most with my nose, that if I did something to accentuate a part of my body that was very far away from it, then I had the time to kind of deal personally with my own internal struggle.
Right.
And so I bought bright pink high tops. And so everybody's looking at my feet instead of my nose. And it just gave me this kind of sense of relief. So, it's like for the girls with the, the soccer and, the big legs, it's like, do something where people are going to be looking up here,
Right.
And it doesn't mean that, that's going to fix your problem, but it's going to help just like give you that kind of like breath.
Right. Right. Exactly. Yes. It'll give you, find something, with being a business owner, I've learned so much about marketing and how you are always branding, always working on your brand. So I kind of wonder if there's something with this. What is your brand? Who are you? And those are the things. Who are you in Christ, and where's God taking you, and what are your interests? And kind of like making that your brand.
Right. Oh, I love that.
This is who you are. This is, the pink. Did you say pink high tops?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Which is so cool. Find who you are, and be confident and unique to be that person. And we're all going to have, like, there are people that might not even like pink high tops, right?
So exactly.
There's people that not going to like something about you physically, right? People are not going to like what you have on. So, there's going to be people that way, but this is who I am. And this is basically my brand. And this is what I'm working on.
Well, I think that opposes what most people do. They turn to, I'm going to try to copy this person to be like them, versus I'm going to try to be so unique that this accentuates the beauty of me.
Right.
And how I'm unique. And I love that. I mean, that's what we tell our parents all the time, with their unique learners, is there is something to be celebrated in this child. Don't look at just where they fail, because that's what the school system wants to tell you. But there is something beautiful and wonderful about your child, and that is what you want to focus on. And I think moms need to hear that too.
Yeah. That's so true. That's true. Definitely. Focus on that.
I love that, finding that brand, and it could be about a lot of different things that you do and you like, and just about you.
Exactly. Yes. Who you are. So important, so important. I was listening to it was a live, and it was sponsored by someone in the same business, that I'm in. And it was just talking about being confident and owning the space that you're in. Being confident when you prepare to walk into a room, and it's difficult for women, right? To walk into another room full of other women that you don't know.
Right.
And there's some valid reasons. Sometimes we're not the nicest to each other. And that goes back to that peer pressure to the teenage girls, and even younger than teenage girls. I hear terrible stories of, where kids aren't nice to each other. Girls are just not nice to each other. And we have to, as a community, as women, we have to realize that we have to fix this.
Yes.
It's nobody else's responsibility at all. There's no one else that is on the agenda. There's no one else who can impact us the way we can. It's not going to be the media. It's not going to be social media. It's not going to be the news. It's not going to be. It's us as a community to begin to rise up and say enough is enough. And so we have to work on how can we do that as a community, to support each other. And like I was saying, one of the hardest things is walking into a room, because sometimes you don't know if you're going to be received, and you're thinking, oh, someone's looking, like you said, your nose, and I'm like, or something, right? Or someone's looking at my thighs because I'm that soccer player, or someone's looking at the arms because the gymnastics,
Mm-hmm.
and all of those things probably feel like, the reindeer Rudolph, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
yeah, like, but what did, and of course, this is all, this is all a incredibly great Christmas time story, but
Right.
the Rudolph didn't exist at all, but still think about that. That red nose was, there was a reason for that. And it was Santa got to deliver,
right.
gifts,
the
right?
gift that nobody wanted, I guess.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very good point. And it's being able to see beyond our prejudices. I think that is what it gets down to, is what are you holding not only against yourself but against others, that could be holding them back from being as beautiful as they want. And I know a lot of my team members have said, Peggy, you see things in me I don't even see. And I so much want to do that, because I was like, I said to one of them, I said, but I see it. I choose to see that in you, something that you don't even see yet at this point. And I want to be there to help you to be who you are.
Right.
And that is how we build that culture, is we bring that out in women. You speak it. It's like when I saw you, Natalie, I'm like, this is what I see in you. And this whole conversation started this broadcast because of that.
Exactly.
And I went around the room, I think, during that time when people were selling things, and I'm like, and I see this in you. And that was one of my previous interviews. We were talking, and she's like, oh, I didn't even think of that perspective. But
great.
seeing something in people that you can encourage, and we can do it in our kids. We can do it in other women around us, but just to build that culture and to strengthen one another.
Yes, definitely. To speak life into each other's, and to speak life to each other, right? To be that encourager, to be that cheerleader,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is a cheerleader, truly.
Yeah, that's so important. So important.
So what lessons have you learned in selling jewelry to women, just about why they buy it? What about it empowers them? I kind of want to take that side step, because I think we do add things to our wardrobe with clothes and other things that can empower us. My daughter and I love to watch all those fashion shows where they're making fashion, and she sews a lot, so that's fun. But my husband's like, well, it's just about clothes, and I'm like, no, there's something about when you put an outfit on, that just gives you confidence. And it's not that it has to be expensive. It can just be some little thing. But what is that?
Well, it's been an interesting journey with selling and having my own business and my own jewelry business. The price point of $5 is something that people have a hard time, because they think, oh my gosh, it's only $5. What's wrong with it? And hold on one second. And you hate to cough now, because people go, oh,
I know. I've had guests from last week say that too.
Right. It's actually, I should have brought some water in my throat, but anyway.
Oh no.
Yeah, but so at that price point, it's very easy for people to think, oh, okay, I can afford that. Mm-hmm. And when they find out that our jewelry is nickel free and lead free, those who have sensitive skin don't have reactions, because most fashion jewelry, even that says hypoallergenic, it doesn't mean there's no nickel, and it does not mean there's no lead. And so many people buy it thinking, oh, this says hypoallergenic, I'm going to be okay. And then you break out and you realize no.
Yeah.
So it's typically the nickel and typically the lead that's in costume or fashion accessories. So paparazzi doesn't have any, so that's cool. The price point is great. And so, but I tell people, you know, like you said, the whole thing is like, you know, there is this belief that I run into frequently, actually, in some communities, and not neighborhoods. I mean, just different walks of life, where it is a really difficult thing to wrap their mind around, even accessories, even at the inexpensive cost of $5. And I think that I have had women who never really wore any jewelry buy the paparazzi jewelry, just one necklace, and it's magical. And when I say magical, the mental transformation is like incredible. It is like, it's like a Cinderella effect, like, you know, Cinderella, the gown.
Exactly.
And you know, and prior to that, she's like just working her heart out, dealing with the evil stepmom and the evil stepsisters, right? And, you know, so in many cases, women, I've run into so many women that really struggle with, okay, I've never worn jewelry, and I don't really know how to wear it. And I don't even know if I would be comfortable wearing it. And along with that, we don't really understand how important it is to treat ourselves to these type of things. It's almost like a faux pas, like you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And in many times, I honestly, even as a Christian, I run into this in a lot of Christian circles, where it's really a challenge for a lot of Christian women to embrace wearing fashion accessories or certain fashion items or things like that. It's almost like a negative. And I think everything in moderation and everything in balance. And what happens when a woman hasn't worn jewelry and she puts on like our paparazzi accessories or just costume jewelry, period, you know, it doesn't have to be a huge, like large necklace or anything that you're not comfortable. Go with what you're comfortable with. It can be a dainty necklace. You know, you might not like all of this animal print, red fringe, and this big ring.
But you wear it well.
Right. You know, you might not. So I tell people, you know, paparazzi has so many different styles and availability that don't look at what I wear, because this is me. I say fine with it.
I go a little more subtle, so I'm wearing exactly the same necklace as she is, which was so funny. We got on the camera and I'm like, but mine is gold and
yes,
tones
right.
gold.
So I tell people to be careful and just choose what they're comfortable with. I think the thing is that, and the notes I wrote about this is, if your inner perspective is based on the belief that you are beautiful and wonderfully made. Okay, we go back to Psalm 139:14. If that inside belief is there, then it's okay to wear makeup. It's okay to be interested in fashion and clothing. It's okay. Like I have on, you know, magnetic lashes that I discovered.
Wow.
Yes, I discovered magnetic lashes.
About that.
So, and I'm loving them. And I never wore faux lashes before. But I had a little bit of interest, and I was always like, oh, I don't think I want wax around my eyes. Well, now the magnetic ones, there's no wax, and I love them. So I, you know, basically, so I actually started selling them too. And that's a new business venture, definitely. The magnetic, Tori Bell. So I have been, and wearing jewelry is okay, because it's the inner person.
Right, it's not your God. You know, that's, you know, we put things before God. But if you are content with who you are, and then accentuating who God made you to be.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
celebrating that. I think too
Exactly.
often we use fashion in a Christian sense to hide ourselves.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
becomes, unfortunately, not a way to worship.
Yeah. Right. It really becomes a negative. And it spreads like throughout our community that, and like you said, this is not, where we are elevating ourselves above anyone else, or like you said, that, this is accentuating your own beauty. This is what I'm talking about. I know that some people, may think, oh, I see women that go and they wear so much, or they do this and do that. I'm talking about not changing who you naturally are.
Right.
I'm saying keep who you are, because we're accepting who we are, right? So we're not really trying to, like, I like my eyelashes already. Now adding these, it's fun.
It's fun.
There's
Exactly.
there's a difference, I don't have to put on makeup. I like how I look even without makeup. But when I put on makeup, it's fun. So it's that balance. It starts here, right? It starts here. And so I think we have to be really careful about the messages that we're giving, that we're saying, and things that, that we're speaking out into the lives of people around us. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to put up Melanie's comment because she said, I want to thank Natalie for introducing me to her products. Buying her jewelry was a small way for me to be able to do something just for me. And I think, that's what we talked about too, is a lot of our moms, especially moms with kids who have special needs, we give so much to others that we just forget about ourselves, or we think, I remember the messages I got from my mom was, I don't deserve it.
Yes.
I have to keep giving because I'm just not good enough. And so those are what we tell ourselves, and like she says, it's easy to get lost doing things for kids, your spouse, your aging parents. We forget about ourselves. We're so busy serving others.
It is easy to get lost. I've thought, like I said, since I've been in business with the Bella Bling business I have, I've thought a lot about this, and I realized that when I look back at pictures, and I didn't always have on jewelry, and there were many pictures where I didn't have any makeup on, and I hadn't waxed my eyebrows or anything like that. And over the years, I was in the thick of it. I call it the peanut butter and jelly years.
Yes.
That's what it was, right? The little kid, you have kids and you're raising them. And in our case, we're homeschooling, and life was really busy. You have your husband, and you want to spend time with your husband and be the best version of yourself for him that you can be. And, your relationship with God, and it's just the community and volunteering, and it's just, the list is long.
Exactly.
So I look back and I say, initially I went, oh my gosh, I didn't have on any. And I thought, okay, no, I was doing what I was doing in that season. And would I do something differently now? Probably so. But I wasn't even aware. I was so busy. I was so busy just surviving that I didn't think about it. So I try to get the message out to young wives and young moms earlier that, pause for a moment, do things for yourself. It's okay to treat yourself within your budget. It's okay. It makes us so much more fulfilled in many ways. Okay. And to just stop for a moment and think about it. And I realized that we had a blessed opportunity to, as a Navy family, to move over to southern Italy, to Naples. And I thank God for the opportunities we've had to travel and live so many different places. And we've lived overseas twice. as a military family. So this last one, like I said, was Napoli, and it's dear. It's so much here in my heart. I realize how much I'm using my hands, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, did I use my hands that much before I lived in Southern Italy, or did I pick this up as an Italian thing, or what? But I think I noticed the women. I noticed the women. You know, always dressed, always dressed, always
Yes,
dressed.
in Italy they do.
Yeah,
Yes.
always
Go
dressed.
outside, you're
And
dressed up.
something clicked in me, and I remembered who I used to be before I became a wife, and even more so before I had children. And this is nothing, no fault to my husband, no fault to the kids. My arm wasn't twisted to live a certain way.
Right.
Life was good. I look back with fondness. I'm thankful. Those were awesome years. But, I look and I go, oh, wow, the person before that season of being a mom, she liked fashion. She liked makeup, and I think, oh, what happened? Well, but important thing is to have grace with yourself.
Oh, yes. So
Have
true.
grace with yourself. There's always opportunities to change. There's always opportunities to begin to look at something differently. And so that's what I encourage women, that it's okay. You can accessorize. And for the $5 price point, you can buy something for yourself.
Yes.
And you put it on and you feel like I said, so many women say, wow, this is so pretty. Or, oh, I have photos to take and I just need a simple necklace. And then they are like, oh, I really like that.
Right. Yes,
my picture looks so nice with just that nice, simple necklace, Yeah. So, and the smile on their face and how they feel about it, it just brings me so much joy. I love to be a vendor, for example, because women come and they're like, I need this for a certain outfit, or I really don't wear jewelry, but I want to. Can you help me? And I'm like, yes, I can help.
And yes, she can. That's awesome. Yeah, I so agree. And we do have to give ourselves a lot of grace for things that we see hindsight. That you maybe go, oh, well, at least you see it now. That was one thing I told somebody I was mentoring. She's like, I keep seeing it now, but I'm like, at least you see it. You didn't see it before.
Right.
So
right. Maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe you weren't supposed to see it before.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Had too many other things going on.
Yeah, right. So, we just don't know. So, but now you see it. Now you know. You do better, right?
Right. Exactly. So I've had Natalie's Facebook page up on there. It's Bella Bling by Natalie, but you can find that on Facebook either using that URL or just looking it up on Facebook. But definitely check that out. She does some great videos with showing all the new stuff that's she has, and you can order right there. So that's
definitely.
I haven't joined in a long time. I've been so busy. But,
I know. I do live shows on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so we have a lot of fun. We do Trivia Pursuit and Blingo, and I give away freebies, and I just bond with the ladies. And I tell people now, particularly in this season, everyone's budget's different and people are stressed and worried. But come on, just to have some fun time with other ladies.
Exactly.
Come on to relax. You don't even have to purchase. I'm not that type of push.
It's very entertaining.
Come on to be entertained. Sometimes I'm wearing, for St. Patrick's Day, I had this green hat on and these green ponytails hanging down. And I had a lady say she was clicking through Facebook and she saw me and she's like, oh, so she came. So I love to just have fun with the ladies that come on. And so come on just to relax and to take a little bit of time for yourself to just kind of bond and laugh and fellowship.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things about social media, right?
Yes. And in just a couple minutes, I'm going to be flipping over to our next show, which is Mom's Night Out. So you can find that link on our, it's in our Facebook group, or
Okay.
else you can find the closed link on our website. It's under Mom's Night Out. But if you go to our homepage, the COVID-19 page, we have a whole bunch of resources just for emergency homeschooling, and our Special Moms Night Out is part of that every Tuesday night. You can even get on camera like Natalie with me.
Peggy will get you there.
I will get you there, and it doesn't matter. The ladies last week were talking about having a pajama party, and I said I'd have to change in 1 minute, but we might make that work still. We'll have to see. But we also want to thank Bookshark for sponsoring this episode. Bookshark, we thank you so much for your support for SPED Homeschool, and definitely check out our website at spedhomeschool.com. We have an ongoing, on-demand, free, at-home special education conference going now through the end of the summer. We have a vendor hall on there. It's getting updated on a regular basis, but almost 1,000 different episodes of shorts and longs of this program, and also our board members' talks mixed in there. So lots of really good content. You can search and find exactly what you want, and we have a step-by-step how to build your own conference with our free resources.
Great. I need to get that out to the military community, military homeschool community.
Share that with you. Definitely. But thanks so much, Natalie.
Thank you, Peggy.
This was so fun, and I'm sorry that it's done, because we could probably go for another hour.
I know. Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Yes, well, thank you for your time, and thank you all for joining us.
Hopefully
we'll see some of you in our Mom's Night Out in just a few minutes. But
yes.
Have a good night, everybody. Oh, and next week we have we're going to talk with 3 homeschool consultants from Home Life Academy about strategies to prevent homeschool burnout. So again, it's not going to be just special needs related. It's going to be all moms related about not burning out. So that'll be good.
That's key.
So yes, definitely. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.